Hubert Bruchmüller still has the pills that were supposed to save his life 24 years ago. He was treated for a chronic heart complaint at this clinic outside Magdeburg. He was told his medication was new. In fact, it hadn't been approved. Hubert Bruchmüller was to serve as an unwitting guinea pig. He was also given a placebo.
We weren't told anything back then. You were treated without getting any information from the hospital or the doctors. I was under the impression that I was being given a real heart drug, but under medical supervision.
It says heart medication on the bottle and the name of a pharmaceutical company from West Germany. It's since emerged that a number of companies conducted drug tests like this in the former East in the 1980s.
I can't comment on individual cases. What I can say is that every case is one too many. But the rule that applies to every company is that taking part in a test must be voluntary, and patients must be fully informed beforehand.
Critics dispute this. They say that West German drug makers tested their products in the East specifically to get around such rules.
Instead of looking for test subjects in the West, they obviously consciously went to East Germany. They knew that the crucial hurdle to be overcome, the need for patient consent, simply didn't exist over there.
The East German government was desperate for hard currency to stave off bankruptcy. Foreign trade and Stasi official Alexander Schalk-Golodkowski was willing to sell any assets, including the health of East German citizens. Immaterial exports was the official term coined for the secret tests. The clandestine Patients for Cash scheme generated millions of Deutschmarks for the East German economy.
The company Import-Export signed these deals with Western firms, and the Stasi were also involved. Schalk-Golodkowski was involved as a Stasi officer, but a lot of unofficial agents also had their part in these transactions and keeping them under control.
Especially when patients died. Some received only placebos, which had fatal consequences for some subjects.
One fellow patient suffered a heart attack during the second or third round of tests. They took him away and I never saw him again. It turned out that some of the patients didn't survive the survey.
There were at least 17 deaths. It's still unclear whether they resulted directly from the drug tests. What is certain is that those responsible put the lives of patients on the line.
It was solely down to the material greed inherent in the system. They saw that their economy was crippled and needed new sources of income. And they were utterly unscrupulous in that search.
Questions remain over a meeting of health ministers from the two Germanys in 1988. Rita Süssmuth, West Germany's top health official, denies the controversial tests were included on the agenda. Perhaps the scheme really was supervised by managers and bureaucrats, with more senior officials happy to stay out of the dubious practices.
East Germany was willing to do business at the cost of its own people. A country where the rule of law normally protects its citizens from illicit practices. But that didn't happen here.
Some of the active ingredients from the pharmaceutical surveys in East Germany are still available today. Among them, the heart drug involved in Hubert Bruchmüller's involuntary tests.
The The state took the hard currency, and the companies were happy to do business. They had contracts with the government, not the patients. And the patients were not informed. I think it would be fair to give compensation to those patients who are still alive.
That prospect remains a vague hope. Hubert Bruchmüller is at least glad that he survived to tell the tale.